My beloved child, keep your soul still that you may hear me speaking in the gentle breath of eternity. I have chosen this very moment to come to you, not because time has ripened according to human calendars, but because your heart has now softened enough to listen and receive the truth I long to etch deep within you. Right now I am very near, like a whisper echoing from the eternal, threading its way into the innermost depths of your soul. You are not here by accident, not by the random turns of your steps, but because I have appointed you for a mission far beyond human comprehension. Before you ever cried your first cry, I knew you. While you were being formed in your mother's womb, I called you by a sacred name, one known only to heaven and your spirit. Every one of your days was written in my book. Each moment you live is woven with threads of grace and purpose. You were not made merely to exist, but to carry my glory into a world aching for light. Amid a life full of busyness and doubt, there is a soul bearing silent storms, someone you love, someone you cannot bring yourself to forsake. I see your heart stirred for them. I see the quiet tears you shed when they hurt. Do not think I am deaf to this or blind to the compassion that moves within you. I am the one who placed that love inside you, for through it you will become an instrument in my work of deep restoration. The bond between you and this person is not chance. It is a divine appointment set from eternity, where I foresaw the journey of your two souls intersecting, strengthening one another, and growing through one another in me. This is the hour I call you to rise, not in human strength, but in the power of my presence dwelling within you. You do not need all the answers. You only need to show up with faith in me. Let me be your voice, your gaze, your outstretched arms. When they come to you with a heart shattered, let your heart be the place where they feel unspeakable peace. In the moments you feel most fragile, you will witness my power flow most mightily. Do you know why I chose you, my dear one? Because you have a heart that does not shut itself off from the pain of others. A spirit that weeps when others hurt, that bows low when others fall, that intercedes even while longing for comfort itself. I see in you a heart like mine, and that is worth more than any gift or talent. That is why I do not call you to accomplish greatness by the world's standards. I invite you into a sacred journey where every prayer you utter is a seed, every tear you shed is a stream that waters, and every act of love is a beam of light piercing the darkness. You may not see all the results right away, but know this: what you do in me will never be in vain. As I once said, do not grow weary in doing good, for in due season you will reap if you do not give up. Yes, beloved child, the harvest will come, a harvest not of visible things but of souls, rescued wounds, healed, and lives finding once more the light that had faded. You do not need to walk in worry. Walk in obedience, and I will take care of the rest. Trust that I have arranged everything, even the smallest conversations, the seemingly ordinary encounters. Every moment you love with my love, you are writing a new chapter in the life of the one you hold dear, a chapter authored by me. My beloved, now, as your heart grows still in my presence, I will lead you deeper into the true meaning of the presence you carry. You are not just an intercessor, not only a comforter, but a living vessel of mine, a conduit of divine love woven together by grace and obedience. Through you I am building a bridge between heaven and souls still imprisoned in darkness. And now is the time I want you to understand it is your presence, not your effort, that awakens the divine in the one you love. They may not say it, but inside they are echoing unspoken questions. They are searching for a glimmer of light in the darkness, a sign that they are not forgotten. You are the one I have chosen to be that sign. There is no need to rescue them in the grand way the world prefers. You only need to be present in truth and in love. A compassionate glance, a silent prayer, a small yet sincere act, all of these, when done in my name, carry the power of heaven. Do not let fear silence you. Do not let doubt cause you to draw back. When you feel inadequate, remember I did not call you because you are enough. I called you because I am enough within you. It is in those very moments when you feel powerless that I will pour out my strength. When you stand before your loved one with no words to offer, I will give you words like honey, words that heal. If you are willing, I will act. You've heard me say before, do not worry about what you will say, for at that very hour, the Holy Spirit will give you the words. I am not asking you to prepare a sermon or a flawless plan. I am asking for faithfulness. I long for a tender heart ready to be filled and moved by me. And you have responded not with outward display but with quiet obedience. I have seen this and I am well pleased. There will be times when it feels like you are sowing seeds into barren soil, that the love you give goes unreturned, your encouragement unnoticed, your prayers seemingly unanswered. But remember, my child, nothing done in me is ever in vain. The seeds you plant are taking root in silence. Transformation is not always loud. Sometimes it comes quietly like dawn after a long night. I am inviting you into a new level of trust. Not trust that comes when you see results, but trust that remains even when everything is still hidden in darkness. This is the faith of a true friend, the one who stays even when the tunnel shows no sign of light. You chose not to abandon them when they were at their most lost. You chose to love when love was hard, and that moves my heart. Look at them through my eyes. Do not see them as someone broken, defeated, or lost. See them as a precious soul made in my image on a journey back to their true identity. You are the first mirror in which they might catch a glimpse of who they truly are in me. When they see kindness in your eyes, they are seeing a reflection of my love. When they hear forgiveness and hope from your lips, they are hearing my voice calling them home. Do not think that your role is small. Every blessing you whisper, every hand you silently hold, every quiet prayer you offer while they sleep, all of it is stirring the spiritual realm in ways you cannot see. You are part of a sacred battle, one the enemy would rather keep hidden from your eyes. He wants you to believe you are powerless, that love is too weak to break chains. But I tell you this today, love never fails. When my love flows through you, it tears down invisible walls, softens even the hardest hearts, and opens the way for my light to reach the places long forgotten by hope. You may not see the impact right away, but remain steadfast. For it is in your quiet faithfulness with what seems small that I will unlock what is great. Healing, restoration, and awakening are drawing near. But before they come, I am looking for someone who will stand in the gap, an intercessor, a bearer of light, one who will not give up. And you are that person. My beloved, let your heart find rest in the strength of who I am. What I am building through you goes far beyond what your eyes can perceive. As you walk through long days without recognition, through silent nights without answers, know that you are stepping into a deeper dimension of faith. A faith not rooted in what you see or feel, but anchored in the unchanging truth that I am faithful and I will never leave you. There have been moments when you've asked within yourself, Lord, why do all my efforts for them seem to bring no change? Why do they appear to sink deeper into confusion and pain? Do not be afraid to bring these questions to me. I am not offended by your doubts. I receive them as part of your honest walk with me. But know this, even when your eyes cannot see, I am working. Even when your ears do not hear, I am preparing the way. Every prayer you lift is like fragrant incense rising before my throne, and not a single word has been forgotten. I am teaching you perseverance, not the kind born from obligation, but the kind sustained by genuine love. Perseverance in love is one of the most powerful forces in my kingdom. It does not shout, nor does it force its way, but it endures with quiet strength like rain slowly soaking through stone. Each drop may seem insignificant, but over time it shapes even the hardest surfaces of the heart. The person you are carrying is not a burden. They are a part of the greater purpose I am unfolding through your life. Your presence beside them may seem small, like a flicker of light in a cold night, but that faithful presence is rekindling a hope they thought had died. Never forget, I used a shepherd's staff to part the Red Sea and a young boy to bring down a giant. Can I not use your quiet presence to awaken a soul? I have not called you to rescue anyone by your own strength, but to be a living sign of my presence. When you pray, when you listen, without judgment, when you place your hand on their shoulder and bless them softly, you are raising unseen pillars that support their spirit. These hidden moments are laying the foundation for the miraculous breakthrough I have already appointed. And do not be surprised if this journey changes you as well. Each time you intercede for them, I am also shaping your heart, deepening your compassion, strengthening your faith, and molding you to reflect me more clearly. The love you give will not leave you empty, it will fill you. The forgiveness you offer will not make you weaker, it will set you free. Every act of love you sow is a seed, and in the right season you will reap a harvest of life far beyond what you imagined. I want you to remember this: miracles do not only occur in dramatic or spectacular moments. More often they begin with a quiet, hidden decision, the decision not to give up. Each day that you choose to stay, each day you choose to love, and each day you choose to believe instead of doubt, you are cooperating with heaven in the work of changing destinies. And when heaven and earth move in agreement on behalf of a soul, nothing can stand in the way. I know there are times when you grow tired, when the weight feels too heavy, and giving up seems easier. But let me remind you, you are not alone in this battle. I am right here with you. My angels are surrounding you. I am renewing your strength day by day. Just as the eagle rises on the currents of the wind, you too will soar when you learn to let me carry the burden for you. Faith is not an easy path, but it is the most beautiful one because it leads you directly to my heart. Every step you take in obedience draws you deeper into the glory that has been prepared for you. Your obedience today is opening the door for the restoration of the one you love. You may not see the full picture, but I do. You may not understand the reasons, but I understand completely. Do you still remember what I told you? Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called children of God. You are doing the work of a child of the kingdom. You are bringing peace into chaos, light into darkness. And it is in this very work that you will meet me in a new way, a way that is deeper, stronger, and unshakable. My beloved child, come even closer, for I long to speak with you the way a father speaks to his child in the most sacred of moments. I did not come merely to assign you a mission and leave you to carry it alone. No, my child. I came to walk with you in every step, to share in your every tear and in every beat of your heart. Because what we have is not a spiritual contract, it is love. And in that love I have called you not only to be a vessel of healing for the one you love, but also to be a reflection of my light in a world that is slowly forgetting I exist. Right now you are standing on holy ground. Every word you speak, every act of love, even your silence, carries the power to shift the course of another soul. The one for whom you are interceding stands at a hidden crossroads between darkness and light, between despair and hope. They cannot cross it alone. That is why I have placed you there as a gatekeeper, a guardian of souls, one who stands at the boundary to watch, to support, and to pray. Do you know why I chose you? Because your heart has been broken, but it did not turn to stone. Because you have known what it means to be hurt, and yet you still choose to love. Because you have walked through darkness and still pursued the light. I chose you because you understand weakness without judging it. You see pain and do not turn away. Your heart remains soft toward the suffering of others, and it is that very tenderness that makes me trust you with this great mission to walk beside a soul that is crying out for rescue. And remember, you cannot force them out of the darkness, but you can shine the light that shows them the way. Sometimes that light is your quiet patience. Sometimes it is your silent prayer, your steady presence that doesn't judge your choice to stay when everyone else has walked away. Love does not shout, but it endures. Love does not demand, but it gives. Love does not force, but it invites. You are building an altar with simple, quiet acts, and it is upon this very altar that the fire from heaven will descend. I see every silent thing you do. When you cook a meal with love, when you stay up through the night to pray for them, when you choose gentle words instead of reacting emotionally, each of these holds eternal value. For I do not measure by outward results. I look at the obedience of your heart. And because you have been faithful in the little things, I will entrust you with greater ones in my appointed time. Do not worry if you don't see results right away. Trust that what you sow will bear fruit in its season. Some seeds need time to break through the soil. Some wounds need time to heal. Some souls need to be embraced in long-lasting love before they can believe they are truly safe. You are doing the right thing even if the other person does not yet see it. And it is in this very thing that you are becoming more like me day by day. You are not just a companion on the journey. You are a refuge for a soul that has lost its way. They may never call you rescuer, but I call you my vessel, a vessel of grace, of hope, of my word. When you feel weak, remember that I am the one who fills you each day. And when you feel like you have nothing left to give, I will be the unending source that flows from your soul. I have chosen you and have not forsaken you. This is what I once declared, And today I say it again. Nothing you are going through is outside of my will. The delays, the long days that seem hopeless, the prayers that seem unanswered, they are all part of a greater plan I am bringing to completion. My silence is not absence. It is the moment when I am quietly working like the potter who gently shapes form from dust and tears. Do not fear making mistakes. Do not worry that you are not enough. When your heart is yielded and your eyes are fixed on me, I will shape everything according to my way. And in that process, you too will be healed. You will learn how to love unconditionally. You will uncover the deepest parts of yourself that I have hidden, saved for this very season. And you will come to know that there is nothing more precious than being used by my own hand for an eternal purpose. As you continue this journey, remember, not every victory can be seen with the eyes. Some battles are won in the stillness of a closed room where only you and I are present. Some walls fall not with a shout or physical strength, but through tears of intercession and sincere obedience. You are living in a time when spiritual things are moving more powerfully than ever before, and I need you to understand it is in the weakness you acknowledge that my power is made perfect. The one you are lifting up may be standing on the edge between confusion and awakening, between despair and new hope. I know you have cried out to me, asking again and again, Lord, how much longer? But my child, let me work in my time. Ripeness cannot be rushed. Just as fruit needs both sun and rain to reach its sweetness, so too must the soul go through its process to be made whole. Do not lose heart when they do not respond. Remember, the seed of faith must often be sown many times before it takes root. Sometimes it lies dormant in dry, barren soil, appearing lifeless, but even there, beneath the surface, new life is taking form. I am working in the darkness where you cannot see, and I will never let your faithfulness go to waste. I see every moment when you feel like giving up, when you feel too small, too powerless, in the face of the raging storm sweeping over someone you love. But my child, I want you to know this. You were never called to be the savior, you were called to carry the light. You are not the answer. You are the signpost. I am the salvation, and I will fulfill what I have begun. But I need someone willing to stand in the in-between, between pain and hope, between the past and the future, between darkness and light, and you have stood there, unwavering. There are days when you feel like your words carry no weight. But you do not know that those whispered words, when spoken in reverence, echo into eternity. Every time you declare my promise over that person's life, you are laying down a spiritual foundation that the enemy cannot destroy. When you say, they will be restored, for the Lord is the healer, you are planting a pillar of hope in the midst of the storm. When you whisper, I believe, you are working even when I don't see it. You are opening a path for my angels to move upon the earth. Hold on to this. My word never returns void, it will accomplish what I have intended. So when you speak my words, you are not just comforting someone. You are unlocking a new reality, a way through the wilderness, a road in the desert. That is why the enemy wants you silent. He knows your words carry power when born out of obedience. My beloved, I am not only restoring the one you love, I am also restoring you. What you have lost in years of sorrow, disappointment, and misunderstanding, I will redeem it all. Because you have chosen to stand in pain without bitterness, to love without being loved, in return to remain faithful when no one saw, I will reward you in secret yet in glory. I know you need healing too. And it is precisely when you pray for others that I am healing the deep, quiet places in your own heart, the ones you thought had gone cold. The love you pour out does not deplete you, it fills you. What you give does not diminish you. It is the very way I am showing that the well within you comes from me and will never run dry. When you face difficult days, remember, I once called Abraham to go to a land he did not know, and he obeyed. I once told Moses to lead my people through the sea, and I made a way where there was no way. I once brought Jonah back to the mission he had run from. And now I am calling you not to understand everything, but to trust. Not to know it all in advance, but to walk with me one day at a time. When you keep your heart tender and do not shut it off in the face of pain, you are reflecting my true image to that person. And even if they don't say it, they feel it. They feel safe because of the light in you. They feel hope when they hear you speak. They feel peace when you are near. You are the broken mirror I am using to reflect my perfect light. Do not be ashamed of the cracks within you. It is through those very cracks that my light shines. My beloved child, now I want you to see everything in your life, what you understand, and what you don't, as part of a sacred melody I am composing. Not one note is wasted. Not one pause is meaningless. Every low tone, every moment of silence, every crescendo is how I am weaving a song of redemption that goes far beyond human understanding. And you, my child, are a precious part of that symphony, the instrument I use to release life and healing through the love and presence you carry. Look back on the journey you've taken, the dark turns, the weary days, the silent tears. All of these are not marks of abandonment, but sacred milestones on the path where you are being shaped to reflect my image. It is through the times you've stumbled that you've learned compassion. It is through the wounds you've borne that you've discovered how to touch others with gentleness. And it is through your moments of weakness that you've come to rely on my unchanging power. The person you are interceding for is not a trial, but a mirror, helping you see more clearly the nature of unconditional love. When you love someone without asking for anything in return, you are living out the deepest essence of who I am. I love you, not because you are always right, not because you are always strong, but simply because you are. You, a child I formed with everlasting love. And when you choose to love someone the way I love you, you are inviting me into that relationship to transform both hearts. Sometimes transformation does not come through mighty words, but through quiet perseverance. When you pray for them every day, when you whisper their name in secret places, when you hold on to faith even when they seem far from me, that is when you are paving the way for a miracle. I do not take lightly any prayer. Every word you speak to me about them is treasured like a precious gem, and I have stored them all in the eternal memory of heaven. Believe that I am working. Do not let my silence convince you that I am indifferent. That silence is preparation. Just as a gardener hides below the soil to tend to the seed, I too am quietly working in the heart of the one you love. You may not see anything changing, but deep within old chains are cracking hard, shells are softening, and the seed of life is beginning to stir. There may be times when you feel like a tiny lamp flickering in a long night, but do not underestimate the light within you. Even a small flame is enough to guide a soul out of darkness. You are living in a time of faithful lights, those who do not seek fame or recognition yet continue to shine steadfastly in the world, and it is these very ones who move my heart. You are one of them. I am using your love like a stream of sweet water to refresh a spiritually barren land. When you love without demanding, when you choose to stay instead of walking away, when you forgive instead of condemning, you are reflecting my face to the world, and that has more impact than you realize. Perhaps they have not changed today, but they cannot deny the light you bring. That light will remain with them like a sacred mark I have imprinted on their soul through you. And I want to remind you, you are not alone. A great cloud of witnesses is watching over you. Angels have been sent to guard you, and I am walking beside you with every step, listening to every whisper in your heart. When you feel empty, I am your fullness. When you do not know what to say, I am the word. When all you have left is silence, I am the echo of hope in the stillness. You do not need to do more, simply be in me, and that very presence is already a living testimony. I will never leave you nor forsake you. Do you remember that promise? It is not just comfort, it is a covenant. I wrote it in blood on the cross and etched it into the palm of my hand. No matter how weak you may feel, that promise still stands. Because my love does not depend on passing emotions, but on my eternal nature, the faithful one from generation to generation. Keep praying, keep loving, keep hoping. Even if the results have not yet come, victory has already been determined. For no one can steal what I have begun, and no power can stop what I have ordained. My beloved child, listen carefully, for what I am about to speak will strengthen your faith and open the eyes of your spirit to clearly see the true nature of the mission you carry. From the very beginning, I chose you not merely to survive the trials, but to become a spiritual influence, one who holds the keys to others' deliverance through intercession, unconditional love, and the radiant presence that flows from me. Now I am revealing to you deeper layers of the role you are playing, not just in the life of the one you love, but in the larger tapestry of my plan for humanity. I want you to understand this. The love you are expressing is not a small thing. It is a form of worship. Every time you choose to sacrifice your own desires to prioritize another, every time you suppress anger and offer gentle words instead, every time you refuse to give up when everything in you wants to walk away, these are the moments you offer me a holy sacrifice, a fragrance that heaven cannot ignore. The one you are interceding for is not merely someone for you to love. They are part of the process shaping your true self. As you serve them with patience and mercy, I am molding you into a vessel fit for my use. And while I move in their life to heal, release, and restore, I am also refining you through every prayer, every tear, every sleepless night. Understand this and never take it lightly. Intercession is one of the most powerful acts a soul can engage in within the spiritual realm. When you intercede, you are stepping into the space between what is and what I have destined, between present reality and eternal promise. You are standing as a spiritual wall shielding the one you love from unseen arrows. You are declaring, the enemy will not win because I am standing here on their behalf, believing for something greater, and I am listening. Remember how when Moses raised his hands in prayer, the people prevailed in battle. When he lowered them, the enemy advanced. That truth remains unchanged. When you pray, you lift that person out of the mire of despair. When you refuse to give in to what your eyes see and ears hear, you are opening the door for me to act. And when you stand firm in faith, I am advancing toward that battleground with all the armies of heaven. You may feel exhausted, but remember, your strength comes from me, not from yourself. I do not demand that you have everything. I only ask that you offer me what you have. Even if it is just a simple prayer, a silent tear, or a whispered plea, Lord, please help them. To me, that is enough to shake the heavens. And when weariness presses in, when you no longer know what to say, come and rest in me. It is in those moments when you release the burden into my hands that I will lift you up. I am your refuge, your source of strength, the refreshing stream in your desert. Do not try to do everything in your own power, for my grace is sufficient for you. Let me be your breath, your steps, your voice, and the thoughts within you. Sometimes I do not answer immediately, not because I reject you, but because I am laying a deeper foundation. A house cannot be built in haste if it is to stand firm through the years. That beloved soul is in a vital season of inner trembling, and your role in this moment is not to act on their behalf, but to remain beside them, keeping the flame of hope alive. Even if they do not understand, even if they do not respond as you hope, your perseverance will be a witness to unconditional love, and through that they will come to know me. I once said, whoever is faithful in little will be entrusted with much. And I see your faithfulness not on the stage, but in the closed room where only you and I are present. That is the place where I reward. That is where I pour out new strength. That is where I breathe my life into you, so you can continue doing what you thought you could no longer do. Keep going, my beloved one. Do not lose heart because of the delay, for I am never late. Every prayer you've lifted, every act of love you've offered, every choice to obey in the midst of trial, each one is being gathered for a spiritual breakthrough that is drawing near. Beloved child, in these long days when you have prayed without ceasing, I have seen every moment you knelt with nothing left to say but your tears. I have not passed over those moments as though they were small or silent. On the contrary, I have listened to every sigh as though it were a sacred song echoing through my dwelling. Those wordless prayers are in fact the most powerful voice in eternity, because they arise from the deepest and most genuine place within you. I see that you have poured out your heart completely for the one you love, holding nothing back for yourself. I see that you have chosen to stay, even when it has left you weary, confused, or wounded. You are not doing this out of duty, but out of love. And it is that very love that has become a powerful instrument for me to use. You do not yet realize that through every small act you are sending ripples that are not only changing one life but touching generations to come. For love that comes from me never dies young. It gives birth to life and becomes the wellspring of miracles. I am preparing a great transformation in the soul of that person. But before they enter a new season, I need someone to stand in the gap for them as a watchman, and you have become that person. You have stood between them and the abyss, not with physical strength, but with faith. When everything seemed to fall apart, when their words wounded you, when their actions appeared to reject the very light you carried, you remained. You kept praying, and that has reached the very depths of my heart. My child, you don't need to understand everything in order to believe. You simply need to keep walking, and I will reveal what needs to be revealed in my time. You may think your efforts are falling into a void, but I assure you no moment of faithfulness is ever wasted. What you are doing is like planting seeds quietly taking root beneath the soil. The day will come when my light shines at the appointed time, and those seeds will rise and bloom into flowers of transformation. Listen, child. Sometimes I let you walk in silence, not to test you, but to teach you how to hear my still small voice amid all the noise. In the nights you thought I was silent, I was actually speaking the deepest truths. For strong souls are not born on stages, but in the secret place where faith is the only light, where obedience finds no applause, and where loyalty goes unseen by the world. Want you to know this. When you love someone with sacred love, you are redrawing their boundaries from a person confined by wounds, past experiences, and distrust into a soul given the chance to step into their true self in me. You do not change them through force, but through presence. Light does not argue with darkness, it simply shines. And darkness cannot overcome light. There will be things you say that they refuse to hear, but do not let that silence you. Keep speaking life, because your words, when carried by truth and love, never vanish into nothingness. You are sowing into soil that sleeps. In time, that soil will awaken, and the very words you sowed will be the first thing they remember when the storm within them begins to calm. My child, I know there are times when you are weary and feel empty. In those moments, come to me, rest your head against my heart, and let me fill you with my presence. You are not meant to do everything by your own strength. I am the well that never runs dry. Let love flow from me through you, not just from you alone. When you step beyond your own strength, you will step into supernatural power, where burdens grow light, where tears become wisdom, where your silence echoes my voice. I once said, "Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest." That word still lives for you today. Don't try to carry it all, give it to me. Learn to rest even in the midst of your calling. Resting in me is not giving up. It is stepping into a higher form of movement, one that is led by the Spirit, not driven by pressure. Beloved one, do not measure success by what you see in the moment. True transformation often comes quietly, but no less powerfully. Like leaven working through dough, like seeds growing through the night, I am doing wonders even when no one notices. And soon you yourself will witness what I have been preparing in silence. My child, now that your soul has been refined through days of faithful perseverance, I want you to grasp a profound truth that many never fully understand. Your presence is a spiritual declaration. You are not simply there with the one you love, you carry the atmosphere of heaven. You represent an unshakable kingdom. Every place you step into, every word you speak in faith, every glance of kindness you offer, all of it is breaking chains that have long bound their soul. They may not say a word. They may continue to struggle with doubt, pain, or rejection. But know this, no one can stay near a flame without eventually growing warm. And you are that flame, one I have kindled, not to blaze momentarily, but to burn steadily through the long night. Do not let their outward behavior cause you to question the value of what you're doing. For in the hidden depths of their spirit, change is happening bit by bit, just because you stayed loved and prayed. My child, I see what your eyes cannot see. I know the inner battles within their souls, battles they've never dared to name. They wrestle between the fear of being hurt and the longing to be loved. They carry scars from the past, wounds that once convinced them they were unworthy, beyond healing, or incapable of change. But you are a living testimony that love is still patient, that grace still endures, that my presence can still be felt through one who chooses obedience. Do not measure the outcome by what appears on the surface. Your steadfastness is shaking the foundations of the darkness they once found refuge in. It is your unwavering love that is breaking through the protective layers they've used to keep others away. Quietly, you are dismantling strongholds of doubt in the simplest way possible by staying. And that, my child, is one of the most godlike things you have ever done. Do you know why my heart is deeply moved when you continue to intercede? Because I once did the same for you. When you turned your back on me, I still waited. When you stopped praying, I still whispered your name. When you were paralyzed by disappointment, I fought for your soul in the unseen realm. Now I invite you to join me in that same miracle, to become a gatekeeper, a reminder to a soul that they are loved, they are not abandoned, and that light still awaits them at the end of the road. My child, don't forget you too are being healed in this process. I do not call you to intercede and forget the deepest parts of yourself. As you pray for others, a fresh stream is pouring into your heart as well. When you love unconditionally, that very love flows backward, washing away doubts you never dared to confront. The forgiveness you extend to others will soften even the hardened parts within you. The patience you cultivate for them is the very place where I'm teaching you to be patient with yourself. You are part of something far greater than what you can see. You are partnering with heaven. You are co-writing the destiny of a soul with me. And when the time comes, you will clearly see that every faithful day, every nameless prayer, every moment you chose to love instead of walk away, all of it has laid the foundation for a new season that I will bring forth. Change is coming. It may not arrive with trumpets or lightning, but perhaps through a small sign, a gentle word, a grateful glance, a moment when they begin to open their heart. Do not dismiss these signs. They are my answers. They are my confirmation that nothing you've done has been in vain. My beloved, if you ask me, Lord, how much longer must I do this? I will gently answer, until my love has finished its work, until the light breaks through the darkness, until their heart softens, until you both can look back and see that everything I did was good. Stand firm, chosen one. Continue in faith. Keep praying, keep loving, keep obeying. For I am right here in every word you speak, in every step you take, in every breath you lift to me. I will complete what I began. And now, my beloved child, as you've walked a long path in obedience and faithfulness, I want you to begin to see yourself through my eyes. You are no longer merely one who stands beside a broken soul. You are one I have anointed, called, equipped, and sent to carry out a mighty work in the unseen realm. You do not move by emotion. You walk by calling. And that has made you an essential part of the redemptive plan I am unfolding through you. My child, do not think that I chose you because you are strong. In truth, it is the gentleness within you, your ability to feel deeply, your willingness to keep loving even after being hurt. These are the reasons I trust you. I saw the sacred trembling in your heart when that person fell. I saw the way you chose silence instead of accusation, the way you turned to prayer instead of complaint, the way you stayed when every reason was calling you to leave. Because of that, you have become an instrument I can use to open a sacred door through which they might step into their true destiny. You may not realize it, but when you intercede, angels are sent. When you speak life instead of despair, invisible walls begin to shake. When you offer words of love rather than bitterness, unseen chains begin to break. It may feel as though you are only whispering behind closed doors, but that whisper reaches my throne. I do not merely hear you, I respond. For the eyes of the Lord are on the righteous, and his ears are attentive to their prayer. Do you remember that? It is not a distant scripture, it is the reality you are living. I see not only what you do, but the heart behind it, and no act, no matter how small or hidden, is ever forgotten in my heavenly record. This is the moment I want to draw you deeper. Not so that you will do more, but so that you will become more. Become more attuned to my spirit. Become more at peace amid change. Become more grounded in your identity, not in what you receive from others, but in the eternal truth that you are the one I love, the one I have sent, and the one I uphold with my righteous right hand. My beloved, as the person you are praying for steps into a critical season, your role is also being elevated. You are no longer praying like one who is waiting for a miracle. You are praying as one who is certain the miracle is already unfolding. Not in the way I have done it before, but in the way only I can. You must learn to trust not only in my power, but also in my timing and in my ways, which move far beyond the reach of your understanding. They may never know the battles you have fought in secret on their behalf, but I know, and that is enough. I know about the nights you stayed awake, not because of work, but because of their dreams, their struggles, the things they're going through that won't let your heart rest. I know there have been moments when you felt like a small boat tossed on an endless ocean, shaken by the silent sorrow of someone else. But you were not overcome, because I am the one who holds you up. I am the underground river that never runs dry. Do not fear the silence, my child. Do not be troubled by days when there is no reply. These are the times when I am quiet so that you can hear me more clearly. not to lead you into doubt, but to teach you how to trust not in the outcome, but in who I am. I am faithful. I am good. I forget nothing you have given me. And this I want you to know: your soul is growing stronger every day. Not according to how the world defines strength, but by the measure of heaven. You are learning to love without needing to be loved in return. You are learning to pray without demanding immediate answers. You are learning to walk with me without needing a map, only trust. My beloved child, this growth does not come from receiving what you ask for, but from the very process of believing even when you have yet to see. That is true faith. That is deep trust. That is the kind of faith that moves heaven and makes hell tremble. And you, my child, are walking in that kind of faith. In the quiet journey you are walking, I see what even you cannot yet clearly see. You are being transformed. Every prayer you lift up on behalf of others is reshaping your own life. When you kneel for the sake of someone you love, you are not only touching their pain, you are opening a door for light from heaven to pierce the invisible darkness that surrounds you both. And it is in the moments when you break because of love that I am making you more whole than ever before. Do not think your endurance is meaningless. I have not forgotten the times you bore wounds without bitterness, forgave without apology, and chose not to retaliate because you know that I am just. With each of those choices, you are writing sacred history with invisible ink that only I can read. And in my kingdom, those pages are worth more than silver or gold, more than any applause given for earthly triumphs. The one you are interceding for is in a season of spiritual transition. They are walking through the in-between, between light and shadow, between the soul's calling and the cries of unhealed wounds. And you are holding their hand with a patience that only true love can sustain. You are not just someone who loves them. You are a witness to their restoration. You are the gatekeeper, the firekeeper, the bearer of hope when they cannot carry it for themselves. There will be moments when they push you away out of fear of being hurt again. There will be moments of silence when they cannot express the storm within. There will be times when their actions make you question your own worth. But my child, do not look at them through eyes clouded by emotion. Look with the eyes I have given you, eyes of mercy and spiritual discernment. You will see that they are not resisting you. They are fighting themselves. And your steady presence is proof that love can stand even when everything else falls. I did not call you to have a perfect relationship. I called you to forge a bond in fire, not a fire that destroys, but one that refines. You are learning to love in my way, not based on response, but based on choice. When I loved humanity, I did not wait until they were worthy. I loved first, loved, fully loved, unconditionally. And now I am giving you the chance to love in the same way, not as a burden, but as an honor. Now, my child, perhaps you are asking, Lord, am I doing the right thing? Am I losing myself in this journey? Let me answer you with eternal truth. You are not losing yourself. You are finding yourself. Not in the eyes of others, but in my gaze. I did not call you to be a copy of someone else. I called you to become whole in the image I have set for you, a carrier of presence, a dweller in truth, one who is encouraged by heaven even when earth offers no recognition. Keep interceding even when your lips tremble from weariness. Keep speaking life even when your heart aches. Keep forgiving even when the past tries to drag you back into the mire of bitterness. For it is in your weakness that my power is made perfect. You are learning to live by the Spirit, not led by emotions, not swept away by disappointment, but upheld by wisdom from above. I did not send you to that person to change them by your own strength, but to create the space for me to act. I will be the one to touch them. I will be the one to awaken what has long been asleep. I will be the one to call their name in the darkness and ignite the first light. But I need someone to be there, someone who will not walk away, someone brave enough to love through the uncertainty. And you have answered that call. Stand firm, not because you are strong, but because I am the one upholding you. Keep believing, not because you can see anything yet, but because I have promised, and my promises never return void. Take my hand each day, even when nothing on the outside seems to change. Because one day you will look back and see every prayer, every tear, every long night was leading to the spiritual awakening I had destined all along. My beloved, as you continue walking by faith, I want you to understand, you are not merely supporting a soul, you are lifting an entire destiny. I have placed within you the key to restoration, not through force but through kindness, not through reasoning but through presence. And the greatness lies not in how much you can do, but in how fully you have allowed me to flow through you without resistance. I know there have been days you've awakened with a heavy heart when the one you love seems to have made no progress, or worse, has fallen back into familiar cycles. I know there have been moments where all you could do was look up and whisper, "I don't understand." But my child, I do not ask you to understand everything. I ask you to trust me amidst what you do not understand. For true faith is not born in radiant light, but in deep darkness where you must walk without seeing, clinging only to my gentle voice. My dear one, when you choose to love without being loved in return, when you intercede without visible change, when you remain faithful without recognition, that is when you are building something unshakable. No one sees the roots growing, yet they are what keep the tree standing in the storm. And I am anchoring your faith deeply, so that when the winds of the Spirit blow fiercely, you will remain unmoved, unshaken, undoubting, undiscouraged. I also want you to know your very presence is dismantling the old patterns in which the enemy had imprisoned the one you love. Cycles of failure, invisible curses, distorted self-beliefs. They are being shaken not by persuasive words, but by a love that does not retreat. You are reflecting my perseverance, my faithfulness, my sacrifice. And that carries more power than 1,000 sermons. When you forgive for the 10th time, when you stay gentle despite being hurt over and over, when you choose to remain without demanding to be understood, that is when you are revealing a part of me they have never known. Many know me as powerful. Few truly understand me as enduring in love. And now through you they are encountering a new side of me, not through intellect but through lived experience. My child, I did not call you into this journey to prove anything but to become something, a living testimony. A testimony to unconditional love, to tireless grace, to unwavering hope. In a world weary with disappointment and disillusionment, your persistent presence is a reminder that beauty still exists, sacred and eternal, because it comes from me. Soon there will come a moment when you see a glimmer of light. It may appear in the eyes of that person when they finally find the courage to face their fears. It may be found in a quiet apology, a seemingly insignificant step forward. Do not underestimate that light. It is a sign that your prayers are reaching the deepest layers of their soul. And from a single spark I will ignite a fire, not by human strength, but by the power of the Holy Spirit. Keep going even when your legs tremble. Keep loving even when your heart is weary. Keep praying even when your lips can only whisper. For it is in that weakness that you reflect my strength. And it is through that faithfulness that I will do things you have not even dared to ask for. You are not alone. I go before you, making a way where there is no way. I am behind you, shielding you from things you cannot see. I am beside you, walking with you through every season. And I am within you, the source of life that never runs dry. Lift up your head, my beloved, not to seek recognition, but to see heaven open before you. Remember that your faithfulness is writing a spiritual legacy, not just for the one you are interceding for, but for many other souls who will be touched by the light you carry. You are closer to breakthrough than you think. Stand firm. Press on, for the glorious part of the story is about to begin. My beloved child, now that you are nearing the end of a journey that only those who obey can endure, I want to say this more clearly and powerfully than ever before: you are not invisible to me. I have seen every quiet step you've taken. I have heard every whisper in the dark. I have lifted every tear you've cried and treasured them like precious jewels. And today I want you to know that a new season is unfolding, not only for the one you love, but for you as well. You have been faithful in the hidden place, and now I am preparing to reveal that faithfulness openly. Not so you will be praised, but so the world will know that I am the God who answers prayer, the one who rewards unwavering obedience. You thought you were simply supporting a single soul, but in truth, you have been laying the foundation for a spiritual lineage. What you sow today will bear fruit tomorrow, and what you have built in secret will become a shelter for many in the future. My child, I am calling you out of the posture of silent sacrifice and into the posture of spiritual authority. I do not want you to pray as one begging for mercy, but as one who knows they are partnering with heaven. I do not want you to speak words of hope as if you are trying to believe, but as one who is fully convinced that I am already working wonders, even if your eyes have not yet seen them. For your faith is no longer just a seed. It has taken root, it has grown strong, and now it is ready to bear fruit. A shift is coming. It begins in the spiritual atmosphere before it manifests in the natural. I have heard your voice more often than you realize. And you are not only heard, you are remembered. Your name is engraved on the palm of my hand. The smallest acts of obedience you've made are written in my book. And in my perfect timing, what was once hidden will be revealed in clarity and in glory. My child, you have walked through the land of suffering. Now, I am bringing you into the land of provision. Not merely provision of the material kind, but provision of the spirit wisdom from above, unshakable peace, and a deep awareness of my voice. I will teach you how to walk as one with authority, not governed by surface matters, but with clarity about what is moving in the depths of the spirit. You will no longer pray out of anxiety, but from a place of conviction. You will no longer love through striving, but through a supernatural flow. You will no longer grow weary in standing firm, for I myself am the strength within you. What once felt like a heavy burden you had to fight to carry will now become as light as breath, for I am shifting the weight off your shoulders and lifting every load onto mine. Now listen, my beloved one, the soul you have never abandoned. They are standing in the threshold between awakening and choosing, and your prayers, your presence, the light you carry, all of it has brought them to the doorway of transformation. I will act in the way I have ordained at the time I have appointed through means only I fully understand. But you will see it, and you will rejoice, because you will know that what you have carried all this time was not in vain. Remember, not one word I have promised will fall to the ground. Not a single tear you've shed is meaningless. Not one moment of faithfulness has been forgotten. What you have sown will return to you multiplied, filled, and covered in glory from heaven, because you did not give up. You chose to love. You chose to believe. And for that very reason, I will give you a reward that no one can take away. Stand firm in joy. Lift up your eyes not in longing but in gratitude. Begin to give thanks even before the miracle unfolds, for gratitude is the bell that opens the door for wonders to enter. Open your mouth and praise me, even if the circumstance has not yet changed, for your praise will bring the walls down. You are about to step into a season unlike the one before. A new chapter is opening, and in this chapter you will no longer walk in fear but in assurance. You will no longer wait in anxious expectation but move forward in readiness. You will no longer intercede with tears but with rejoicing, for you will see prayers fulfilled, my beloved child. Now that a new door has opened before you, I want you to step through not only with faith but with understanding. You are no longer one who gropes in the dark but one equipped to carry the light. You are no longer a solitary intercessor but one I have trained through every dark night, every tear shed, every silent obedience, so that now you stand as a watchman entrusted with sacred ground to guard and restore. I did not let you walk through every trial merely to survive them. I allowed you to experience them so that you would know, so that you would understand the pain of others, not through theory but through living truth. Now what you once endured is no longer a wound, it has become a weapon of empathy, a weapon of healing, a weapon of mercy, with the power to shake even the hardest of hearts. You are not just someone who knows how to pray, you are one who understands the silence behind the cry, and that gives your words weight in the spirit. So, my child, do not diminish yourself because of old emotions. The days when you felt weak do not disqualify you, they are signs of deep refinement. I taught you how to be still when silence was needed, how to intercede when words ran dry, how to love when love wasn't returned, and how to hold fast to promises when everything around you told you to let go. That is what makes you trustworthy in my eyes. And now as I lift you up, it is not a reward, it is a commissioning. My child, look back and see clearly. Each shattered piece has come together to form a foundation. Every tear has become a river that refreshes dry ground. Every slow step taken in darkness now becomes a footprint that guides others who will follow. You have become a gatekeeper not just for one person, but for a generation longing for truth yet surrounded by deception and disappointment. I am giving you eyes of discernment, ears attuned to my voice, and a heart that does not fear. Know this: My child, spiritual authority does not come from a loud voice or a powerful stance. It flows from a heart fully surrendered. You have learned this well. Now when you pray, your words shift the spiritual atmosphere. When you declare, "My word truth," is no longer a concept. It becomes a double-edged sword that reaches into the deepest places of the human soul. When you love, it is not merely comfort, it is the healing stream I use to break down the ruins of lies. Remember, you are not merely called to respond to what happens around you. You are called to establish the atmosphere. Your presence carries the atmosphere of my kingdom. When you enter a room, the air changes. When you hold the trembling hand of a soul, my angels are dispatched to surround them. When you stand on a piece of land and say, "Lord, this belongs to you," I take note of it, and vibrations begin in the unseen realm. You no longer need to tremble before invisible attacks. You no longer need to worry about negative words or the coldness of others. For I am in you, and the one within you is greater than all that is in the world. I did not bring you this far so you could retreat. I did not train you to fight just so you could surrender. I have built you to overcome, not loudly, but with unshakable strength, deep resolve, and unwavering purpose. My beloved child, I am opening your eyes to see that your role in my kingdom is no longer confined to a prayer room. Every place you set your foot, every soul you encounter, every conversation that seems ordinary, each holds eternal potential. For you are a carrier of life, a bearer of truth, a bringer of light. Do not wait for more proof to believe in your calling. The evidence is etched into the journey you have lived. Walk as one who is sent, as one who knows they are backed by heaven. Speak with authority. Love without reservation. Pray as if that soul is already set free. Because when you do, you are partnering with me in a spiritual restoration the world has yet to fully witness. This is no longer a time of preparation. This is the time for action. The days ahead are not trials, they are opportunities for my glory to be revealed through you. I did not choose the wrong person, and you have not taken the wrong path. Now, my child, as you have passed through the darkest valleys, stood firm on the ground I appointed, and have not turned back amidst countless trials. I say this clearly, a new chapter is beginning, and you will step into it not as a beggar, but as one who carries the divine authority I have entrusted to you. Everything you have been through, the silent battles, the unheard prayers, the wounds no one ever saw, none of it was in vain. They have become the foundation of the spiritual authority I now establish in your life. You have been tested in the fire, and now you are clothed with the mantle of faith, entrusted with the scepter of intercession, and sealed by my presence. Nothing can shake your identity anymore, for I have etched it into your soul with fire from my throne. You once thought you were simply someone who loved faithfully, but I call you an influencer. You are one who shapes the spiritual atmosphere, a breaker of invisible cycles that have held souls captive in the dark. When you speak, your words are not empty. When you pray, the gates of heaven open. When you walk, the earth trembles, not because of who you are in the eyes of the world, but because you have aligned yourself with me in obedience. Look upon the one you love with new eyes, not as someone in need of rescue, but as one I have also called, one into whom you have sown with your very soul, and who will soon rise as a living testimony of my transformative power. The bond between you is no longer just emotional. It is a spiritual thread woven with perseverance, faith, and love, born of an eternal kingdom. My child, what you have done for them will echo through generations. A soul that is healed never impacts only itself. It becomes a wellspring of healing for others. And because you stayed, because you didn't let go, because you believed when no one else did, you will witness the miracle I have long prepared. You are no longer at the threshold, you are crossing over. You are no longer waiting, you are moving in authority. You no longer pray from a place of lack, you speak as one who has been abundantly supplied. I want you to understand that everything you need for the journey ahead has already been given. Peace has arrived. Wisdom is at work. Revelation is bursting forth within you. Walk as one who knows heaven is walking beside you. Now, my child, remember this. This is your hour. Not because you are skilled, but because you are yielded. Not because you are prominent, but because you have been faithful. Not because you are worthy, but because you trusted me when everything around you told you to stop. You have become one I can entrust with authority. And now I say, arise, shine. for my glory has risen upon you. The enemy does not tremble because you shout, but because you walk in understanding. You are no longer bound by the emotions of others, by the reactions of circumstances, or by delays measured by human eyes. You act according to a higher call, a deeper voice, my voice. And my voice breaks chains, parts seas, calls the dead to life, and turns the defeated into leaders. You are living proof that love never fails, that prayer is never wasted, that faithful presence can rescue a soul from the brink. And because you have lived it not in word but in action, I will now reveal what no eye has seen, no ear has heard, and no heart has imagined. Rejoice, beloved, not because the promises are about to be fulfilled, but because you are in the right place, the position of the chosen. Doubt no more. Question no longer whether you are enough. You are enough because I am the one who lives in you. Right now, I am calling you to rise up, to open your mouth, to step out, to bless, to forgive, to build, and to believe. This is your hour to fulfill the mission with unwavering faith, no longer merely someone who longs to witness miracles, but one who becomes a vessel through which miracles flow. I am moving through you, and you will see it with your very own eyes. My beloved child, you have persevered, you have interceded, you have loved. And now you will reap not just the fruit of your labor, but the glory of my very presence. Step into fullness, live as one who is sent, and never forget I, the Lord your God, faithful and unchanging, am with you even to the very end. Subscribe and turn on the notification bell, so that together we may receive the words of life, build steadfast faith, and walk in the boundless love of God. Amen.